So have you ever had anything go like really horribly wrong?
Yeah. 5th of December, 2012.
The fact that you know the date tells
It
us
went
this is going
that
to be
badly
good.
wrong. To set the scene, the Russian roulette I was going to play was 4 wooden discs with 4 polystyrene cups, and under one of the wooden disc is a solid stainless steel 3-inch spike with a very severe point on the end of it. She went, I
Do
know
you
that.
know where the nail is the whole time?
Supposedly, I've gone, which one do you want? She went, that one. And I went, you sure you don't want that one? I'm now standing there, and this spike is now right through my hand and out the other side.
Spencer, great having you on the show, mate.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So, I'm a wedding magician. I think that is the easiest way to put it. I'm a wedding magician. I do corporate work as well, but predominantly my diary throughout the year is predominantly filled with wedding magician.
Yeah.
Hosting, drink reception, round the tables. That's what I do.
You do a bit of Toastmastery as
Bit
well.
of Toastmastering, magical host, magic hostmaster. Any kind of connotation of what that makes up is what I kind of put out there into the market.
So how big of a difference is just being a magician at the wedding and a magician toastmaster hostmaster?
I think when you're a magician, you're just the guy that turns up, you hang out, you do some really cool stuff, you mingle with the guests during the drink reception, the wedding breakfast. When you're a toastmaster, you're fundamentally a much bigger part of the day. I think one of the biggest things that I put across to the couples that I work with is, you know what, you'll spend months or even a year or 2 years to get to the big day.
Yeah.
And on the big day, I want you to feel confident enough that we've created enough of a relationship between the two of us that you can just hand it over to me and ask me to bring it home for you.
Yeah.
I want you to use me like I kind of probably sell myself like a little bit of a personal assistant to them.
Yeah.
As well as doing the magic on the day, but I'm that guy they're gonna go to if there's any problems, if they've lost something, something's broken, or if they want me to get something. And I can tell you a story about that later.
Yeah.
But it's fundamentally so much more than a guy that just does a few tricks. You are making sure family and friends are happy. You are making sure that all the timings are kept to.
Yeah.
It's just a bigger thing. It genuinely is my most favourite thing to do. I love it. I cannot begin to tell you how excited it makes me to go out there and go, I'm here for 7 hours.
Yeah.
7 hours. You tell another magician you've got a 7-hour gig, they all go, that's a lot of magic tricks. I go, no.
It's not all about magic on the day then though, is it?
No, it's actually, it's probably a long way from just magic tricks on the day.
Yeah.
It's because you can't do 7 hours of magic trick. Not only would I want to blow my brains out, but I reckon even the guests would. They'd go, all right, we get it. You
We've
can do
seen
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another card trick, mate. Going to vanish another coin. Going to read my mind and tell me about somebody. And you go, yeah, no. You've really got to spread that out. You really have got to be a very, very good socially interactive performer, entertainer.
And there's a lot of people out there that aren't really say extroverted enough to deal with 100 people.
Yeah,
you got to have that confidence and let that confidence out, and like you may be like introverted extrovert.
Do you know what? It's magicians are, I suppose, like any entertainer. They can be really great when they're doing what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
But they can really struggle when they're not.
Yeah.
So they can struggle in conversation or struggle in a social situation. But give them a deck of cards or give them that moment to perform and they shine.
Yeah.
And everyone just loves that experience they have with them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're someone like myself and you're hosting for the day, you're fully invested, fully involved from the start.
Yeah.
And the way you socialize with anyone, even when you're not performing, you're bringing groups of people together. You're just making everyone feel relaxed and making feel people part of the occasion.
Yeah.
And you're bridging that gap between the couple and the family and friends when they're not around.
Yeah.
And it can be those little moments where it's a bit quiet, it's a little bit, there's not much going on and we don't really know what to do.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the magician comes in because he bridges that gap and gets rid of those moments where everyone goes, crikey, yeah. We normally stand around at these things without a great deal to do, and I don't really know anybody, and I felt a bit awkward. And I got my wife here, but I'm with her all week long, so I've still got nothing to say to her on a Saturday just because we're at a wedding.
Yeah.
But then the magician comes along, shows them some really cool stuff, maybe pulls in another couple of people from a different group, introduces them as well, shows them all a great bit of magic. Then they've all got a common interest for a very small moment in time, chat, socialise about that, And you know what? Then they can ask questions about one another, about where you're
Yeah.
from, what do you do, da da da. And if you don't then talk further, but at least you feel like you've been a part of the occasion, you've had a chance to socialise. Whereas then later on, once the drinks are flowing, you can go back over to that person and go, "Oh, great, yeah, it's nice to meet you earlier on. You
Yeah.
had a nice day.
I figured out how it's done.
I figured out how it's done. I know you did that. It's in that
I spoke
pocket.
to the videographer and
Oh
showed
yeah,
him.
yeah, don't. Oh, I love
Slowed
it.
it down.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more to it than just doing a magic trick and walking off.
Yeah, do you know what? I spoke. There's a lot more to it than doing a magic trick or walk. Yeah, I think so. Everything's a lot more now. There's not anybody that does just their job now.
No.
You don't just do a trick and go. You don't just take a picture and go. Everybody is socially much more involved in
Yeah.
the occasion because you are part of the day.
Yeah.
And however you might be that shrinking violet behind a video camera, behind a camera, disappearing behind a hedge or up a ladder, you're still there. Everybody still comes to you for questions and
It's a
answers.
really
or
intimate day.
massively so. And you have to be mindful of the fact that it is their day.
Yeah.
And you are there to make their day amazing with whatever role that you all play.
Yeah.
Socially, appearance wise as well. Just everything about you that is going to make it, that you know, it makes a reflection of their choices to their family and friends.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, yeah, we made that decision
job.
because he's the guy for the job.
Yeah. So what got you into magic in the first place?
Wow, do you know what? I had to look back to what year? So I thought I went and Googled earlier on. I'm 27 years old. So what year was that when I was 27? Because I couldn't do the simple subtraction from there. So I was 27. It was Christmas at my mum and dad's house. I was going to have a few friends over for Christmas Day lunch.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine showed me some tricks around the table. And that was it. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, 27. I've never done magic in my life. And I just see this guy, a family of friend, do some tricks. And I went, I'm going to have some of that. So I went out. I went on, I don't know, I must have gone to a magic. It's Davenport's Magic. It's
Yeah.
in Charing Cross. It's in the Underground Tube Station.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there anymore. I think it's gone. And I bought a coin book, a couple of coin tricks. A magician behind the counter recommended a couple of bits to me. And I decided I'd go out and learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I spent about the next 4 months practicing tricks. And I can tell you how much magic's moved on because back then it was just books
Yeah.
and VHS videos. Now, if you've never learnt a trick, you won't understand what I'm about to say unless learning an instrument is very similar. But
Yeah.
imagine when you're holding cards or holding coins in a certain way, and you've now got to turn the page, press play or press pause, and if you put them down, you have to start the whole thing again. And you're standing there and you're stuck, and you're going, I can't press play,
Yeah.
and I can't turn, and you're trying to lick the page over so you can see what the next move is on the other side. But by that point, and I got to be fair, I think I had to go at this for about 3-4 months. I threw everything in the drawer. I went, I'm out, I'm done. I'm not doing it. It's too complicated. It's way too hard. And then I went back to this magic shop and I met this magician again. This magician lives in Sevenoaks, actually.
Yeah.
And he agreed to give me lessons. And I had lessons with him for 2 hours every Thursday night for 2 years.
Okay.
Went round his house and he taught me.
Yeah.
And he taught me and he taught me. And you know what? It was probably the best kind of experience I could have had to get anywhere. And the foundations of my magic were because of this magician. And the first would have been family and friend because he got me started, but this magician did genuinely make it.
Pave the way.
I then, from there, I went to, I had my first gig.
Yeah.
And I went out with another magician. This magician's down in Ashford. He works at a magic shop. Lovely, lovely guy. And I asked him to come along as my little bit of a support.
Yeah.
We was going to do it was a cricket club do in a clubhouse bar. And I'll never forget, I walked in, I had more magic on me than you can purchase in a shop. I had it every single pocket and I had no idea what I was about to do. And I never forget, and I was going to do a very old trick, and it's called card on forehead, where you get somebody to take a card and you end up under a certain amount of misdirection and getting them to look away. You stick their card on your forehead.
Yeah.
So, and you ask them to count some cards out. And once they turn over the 14th card, let's say, your card will be staring you directly in the face. And they go, it's not my card. And then as they look up, they see you.
It's similar way they put it in their mouth.
Very similar to that. But they see you with the card stuck on your forehead. So you do the move, lick the card, stick it on your forehead. I like that. The guy looks up and went, it's not my card. I went, no, you're kidding me. Oh no, you're right. It's not your card. 1 minute. Let's do it again. Back in. Do the whole thing again.
How awkward is it to go, let me try again as a.
Don't. And it was very awkward. And he went, "It's not my card." I'll never forget. Because it ring. You know what? Things just ring true. They never leave your head. And I
Yeah.
remember he said to me, he said, maybe you should practice a little bit more before you start coming out and taking people's money off of them. Oh my God. Little did he know, we wasn't being paid anyway. We was doing it for tips in a pint glass.
Right. Yeah.
So I went out to my car, took all my stuff out of my pockets, threw it all in the boot of my car, had a little bit of a catch up with this other magician, and he said, "Don't worry about it, let's just crack on." And we went back in, and all of a sudden I had so much little on me that I could really focus and enjoy what it was I was doing.
Yeah.
And I rocked the whole rest of the night, and the most fun.
See, I'm a very gullible person when it comes to magic. Because if you did that trick on me twice, then I'm going, that's not my card, that's not my card. I'd be sitting there going, something special is about to happen.
Do you know what, right? Something special is about to happen only comes with a degree of credibility over time.
Yeah.
All right. There is something about a magician that there's something when you do that everyone, just when it happens, they go, and they do this, right? They do this thing where they go, "Oh, watch this. He's gonna turn this whole thing around."
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about when the days when I didn't be able to turn it around, and everybody's in the audience going, "Oh, you're going to love this. Watch this. This is going to be awesome. This has got a really big finale coming. I can tell. I can see it." And in my head, I'm standing there going,
No.
"Oh no, it hasn't. No, this is as good as
This is
this
it.
is as good as it's just about to get. This is absolutely done." And I'll never forget. I was at Leeds Castle. I was what's it? Is it Fairfax? They call it.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a really big room, a really big like banqueting suite. And I remember the guy took a card off me and he'd signed it. It was an ace of spades, and he lost it in the deck, and I had to find it. And I didn't do what I was meant to do, and where it was meant to be, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I went, I had to go to say, "What was your card?" He goes, "Well, you're the magician. You tell me." I said, "Well, I'll be honest with you. There's 52 cards in the deck, and as I've just gone through the cards, then I've only got 51 left. So what was your card?" And he went, "Ace of spades." Well, I went, "Oh, it's not here. Now I've found it. It's right in front of me now. I'm looking at it. And all I've got to do is now get it out of the deck and control it to somewhere where I want it to be."
Yeah.
Now that comes down to, that's as your confidence grows. And as you become a little bit more skillful and a little bit more kind of brazen with the way you perform, you can then manage to get away with
Yeah.
that kind of thing if it makes a mistake.
It's really technical. I mean, I've seen good magicians and bad magicians, and don't get me wrong, I could never. I tried it. I tried learning in COVID.
Yeah.
So credit to you for sticking to it.
Yeah.
My thing is, if I can't do it, I just give up. Like, it's a real problem. Thankfully, I was pretty good at videography.
Yeah.
So credit to you for sticking to it. But I just get so frustrated when I can't figure it out. But watching some magicians now, filming it and watching it back, I'm
Yeah.
like, right, I know how you've done that.
Yeah.
So it's still amazing to watch, because like the sleight of hand, where I know you're holding 2 cards instead of 1,
Yeah.
could never do it.
Yeah.
But it's really, really fun to watch still, even though I know how it's done.
Yeah.
But
it's that's what you get when if you do I remember there's a Toastmaster on the circuit in Kent, and he used to come up to you and go, "There's one trick I can't, and it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it from every angle, this way, still can't get it." And then he come up to me. I've been doing this for a long time. This Toastmaster came up to me and went, "I've done it. Finally seen how it's done. Finally caught one of you guys out doing it."
yeah,
And it made me laugh. And it's like this whole kind of this need to know.
yeah,
You don't need to know.
you don't.
You
but
just feel like you want to know, just to make it so you
Yeah.
can go, "Oh, I know it's done."
But in a weird way, it's still magical to watch it, even though we know how it's done. Like,
Yeah.
Matty does one, and I think you do it as well, where you turn the receipts into cash.
Yep.
And I saw Matty do this the first time, and I've seen it on TV and stuff, but seeing it firsthand, you're like, oh, okay, that's actually really incredible. And what pissed me off with Matty was, we was at a wedding, and I told him this. We was at a wedding together, and I was just sitting editing, and he reversed the trick, ready to go back into the crowd to do it again.
He reset in front of you.
But he reset it just like so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. I'm going, how have you done that? Like, really, really
Yeah.
pissed me off.
Yeah.
And that was 3-4 years ago now. And it was only last year that I watched him do it again, and I really paid attention.
Yeah.
And I figured out how he does it. But again, there's no way in hell that I would be able to do that. So it's still a magical thing to watch, but it just in a different way.
Yeah.
Just because I know how it's done now. But again, just how you do it is just so impressive.
You do it without doing it.
Yeah,
We just do it without doing it. You're just not, you don't see, because we're not looking, you're not looking.
yeah,
If a magician looks at the cars whilst everyone looks at the cars, because everyone looks for the magician. But if
yeah.
the magician looks up here and just carries on doing down here, you can't look him in the eyes and look at his deck. 'Cause
No,
you can't do both. It's impossible.
that misdirection is
Misdirection
a wonderful thing to watch.
is a wonderful thing to watch.
Like the people that do you take watches? Do you
Did
do
I
that?
did, you know, pre-COVID I did, but I lost my knack. And I think we've become a little bit of a society of less touchy-feely, if you
Yeah,
don't mind.
since COVID. Yeah,
And more, and I this just sounds really weird, but as I've kind of matured and developed over the years, there's things I noticed that I would do that I used to do that I wouldn't do now.
yeah,
Mental health is a really big thing, and because externally you don't always know what somebody's worries or concerns
yeah.
are, touching them and putting your hands on them is not necessarily where I feel most
Yeah.
comfortable personally nowadays. So I don't necessarily want to go put my hands around somebody's wrist to try and pinch a watch or putting my hands inside their jacket. It's just but equally, because also there's all the stories
yeah.
where, you know, you've pinched someone's watch off their wrist and you've put it back and they've said it, well, that was a real Rolex, and you've put back a fake one.
Right.
And you've had those problems. And you get, and
have you had that?
Yeah, had that. That was at Cooling Castle one time.
Mate, so
And
a lot of
somebody goes, "That
brazen
was-"
people around. to think
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
You would do that, like.
Yeah.
But you'd be like, "Well, try and find it. I'm a magician."
Yeah. Man, I see it. I did a watch steal I was at Rohill Grange
Yeah.
years ago. And I never forget, the guy had a brand new watch on. He'd got it for his birthday that weekend. And he had one of those watches, the leather straps with the double little buckles here
Yes.
that you loop through.
Yeah.
And I remember as I removed the first one, I didn't get the second one. So as I pulled the leather strap, I snapped the second loop.
Oh no.
And it literally, he sat at the tables and it went flying up in the area in front of him. He didn't see it, landed on his lap, and I see it on his lap. And I just leant over quickly and just brushed it onto the floor so he didn't see it. And I went, and everyone went absolutely crazy. They thought this was hilarious. The watch being stolen was unreal. Everyone loved it. And then he put the watch back on and he went, magician's broke my watch. I went, all right, mate, don't make a big thing about it. And I'll get it sorted out, get it fixed up for you. He went, okay, yeah, brilliant, thanks. Sorry about that. It was a gift over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I turned away. He stood up and went, you will not believe it. The magician's gone and broke my watch strap. And it, oh my God. I went, seriously, mate, I just told you I'll square you up for it. It was 20 quid.
Yeah.
The 20 quid watch strap. It was all done. Yeah, that was.
It's another problem with it, isn't it? If you're going to steal a watch, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I've done. I stole. I mean, listen, please don't think that everything I do. This is like a 20-year career.
Yeah.
So not everything I've done breaks and falls apart.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've done it where I stole a lady. She had a Gucci, one of these Gucci watches on with it was like a bracelet, but it was all locking.
Right. Okay.
And as I undid it, all the locks twisted and turned, and the whole thing just fell apart in my hands. And I was literally standing there with a watch face and all the bracelet in pieces. It was like a jigsaw puzzle bracelet, and she had to put it all back together to put it around her wrist to put it back on. I was like, oh Jesus! But that's your rite of passage.
Yeah.
You have to learn so that then you know what to look for. And as I become a little bit of I love watches. I'm a bit of a fan.
Yeah.
I love a nice watch. And back again, as I was learning, you'd get a watch strap. There was a leather watch strap, but it had a buckle underneath it.
Yeah.
So that you could only go across the hand. Whereas leather just comes straight off above. That means it was a straight steel upwards.
Yeah.
Whereas like a bracelet watch or a leather strap with a bracelet underneath it would have to come across the hand.
Yeah.
And I remember doing one, so I undone it all. And as I pulled it away, his hand just went like that with mine. So I'm just holding on to his wrist. And he's going, that's got a buckle on that, mate. And you're going, oh yeah, I didn't know.
We'll try that again later.
Yeah, I'll try that and I'll do that. So yeah.
So I see one before where he's making it obvious that he's trying to steal his watch.
Yeah.
Ends up stealing his tie.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that's your misdirection.
That stuff just, you feel so stupid. You know?
I've seen, there's a couple of people I've seen do it, and it is brilliant. I mean, but you have to, belt stealing and tie stealing is getting caught.
Yeah.
Before you get good, you have to get caught.
Yeah.
Because there's certain ties that don't come undone. So you're looking for a certain tie knot that you know's slippy, that it's loose.
You've got to learn a lot more. Like you need to know the watches, you need to know the tires, you need to know the belts.
Yeah. And guys are, and equally, you know what? If you've got to put your hand on a guy's waistline.
Yeah.
Right there, right above his bits and bobs.
Yeah.
So if I to do that, you've got to go and feel comfortable with putting your hand, because the belt's like a watch strap.
Yeah.
Still got to come over, and then turn you turn it around your body as you turn away,
Yeah.
and it unthreads it out of your body. But again, you've got to go and get caught.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing with your hands on my belt? I can feel you touch me
Why are you
right in
touching
my
me like
sensitive
that?
area.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's spent, and the ties are just as much.
Yeah.
But again, I want to do that. You got to like to do that kind of thing as well. But there's also then that guy's he's now got his tie off, he's now got his belt off, he's now got to go and put that all back on.
Yeah. So you got to make sure you pick the right person that's not going to get
Yeah,
pissed
that's
off.
not going to
that
get the
you've-
ump about that, because I might get, if I've got a tie on, and let's go for instance, we go to a lot of weddings. A lot of these guys may never wear ties,
Yeah.
and now you've gone and done the one thing that took him half an hour to get on. You've now taken it off, and he's now got to go to the toilet and put it all back on again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the industry that we're in, not many people mention. There's certain things that constantly come up that magicians do that people love.
Yeah.
And there's lots, and then you'll get that blue moon moment where somebody said, "Oh, I had a guy that just stole ties, or stole wallets, or watches, or belts, or whatever, or put the bottle through the table, or had a note vanish and appear inside a lemon that was on the other side of the room."
Yeah.
And it goes like that. And they're the bits that, as a magician, you kind of log in and you kind of monitor what's being mentioned quite a lot, because there are certain things that people just really absolutely love.
Yeah.
There are those little bits of gold that just people just
Latch onto.
just latch onto.
Love that. So what advice would you give to a couple that are kind of on the fence about having a magician?
Add one.
Add one.
That's it. It's done. Listen, if you really, I think it's just really understanding the power of what a magician can do.
Yeah.
It's that full-on interactive group entertainment. It's going to create mystery. It's going to create intrigue, excitement, fun, and laughter. People are going to go away from it, and they're going to talk about it forever.
Yeah.
I promise you, you won't remember the magician's name, but you will remember exactly how he made you
trick
feel,
and
and where you see him do it, and who put it on for them. Years later, there's somebody that come up to you and go, "You had that guy, that dude, he did that trick on me at your wedding where the cards vanished and turned into that clear block
Yeah.
of glass. I can't believe, how?" And they don't stop talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's again a bit of a bonus that we do what we do and we see so many magicians do it, because that's the sort of thing that would bug me for ages. Like if I just worked with one magician one time
Yeah.
and I couldn't figure it out,
Yeah.
it would really drive me crazy.
You're looking forward to going, you haven't got a magician on your next wedding, have you? Because
Yeah.
really, there's a real, and then you go up to the magician and you ask him if he can show you a certain trick so you can catch him out.
Yeah.
There's this need with magicians to catch magicians out or see how stuff's done.
See, with Matty again, like I told him that I figured out this note thing.
Yeah.
And then he did another one on me that again has plagued me since, but it's to do with like tech. Like
Okay.
he managed to do something on my phone without touching my phone.
Yeah.
Without touching his phone, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's funny. It's fun because you get to go home and you're like, right now I need to try and figure that one out. But
Tech magic is become very big.
Yeah. I suppose like nowadays with how tech is moving, is it easier to do technology magic?
Tech magic, let's say for instance, hypothetically, let's say it just works itself.
Yeah.
But you've got to present it. You've still got to deliver that bit that makes it look magical.
Yeah.
And I'm a very big believer, along with other magicians that are still kind of born and bred into their world, where they started off with the sleight of hand and the misdirection, and they learned how to do magic.
Yeah.
Well, you interweave actual magic with tech, and you're a legend. And it's just, you can create amazing things. But if you're new into magic and you're just doing techie stuff, then you're not doing those certain skills.
Yeah.
There's certain skills that you need that make you go, that people go, that's unreal.
Yeah.
So I do, like, if I do a tech hack, I could do 80% tech with 20% sleight of hand, old school magic.
Yeah.
But then you could have an 80%, if I'm doing another kind of act, it might be all 80% of sleight of hand, kind of old school magic, mind reading and misdirection and stuff like that, with 20% tech, just to kind of give it that little finesse, little edge that makes it look a little bit different.
So do you prefer like the old school way of magic?
I love it all. Do you know what? No, I love it all because it's so adaptable to every audience that wants to see something different. When the thing is, our markets, like every market, becomes so saturated with magicians doing it, you've got to shine.
Yeah.
There's something about you that's really got to stand out, that people go, you're a completely different thing from what I've seen so far or heard about or ever seen and another event or another wedding. I said, this magician we saw was good, but you're a different kind of gravy. It's just a different thing altogether.
Yeah. So have you ever had anything go really horribly wrong?
Yeah. 5th of December, 2012.
The fact that you know the date tells
it
us
went
it's
that
going to be
badly
good.
wrong. It went that badly wrong. I was at Hempstead House, City
Okay.
Ball.
Yeah. It's just up the road.
Just up the road. 14 people to a sit-down wedding. Very,
Okay.
very boutique-y, intimate, really nice. It was my first year as a close-up magician full-time. I left my job in August, so this was my first December. At the end of the night, I had to do my 15-minute spot to the room.
Yeah.
And I've set up my prediction. That's gone out. Somebody's holding that in an envelope. And I'm going to play a game of Russian roulette. And now, to set the scene, the Russian roulette I was going to play was 4 wooden discs with 4 polystyrene cups. And under one of the wooden disc is a solid stainless steel 3-inch spike with a very severe point on the end of it.
Yeah.
So the 4 blocks go out with the 4 cups go over top, and we're going to proceed to move the cups around without seemingly knowing where the spike is. At any point, I have to place my fingers on 2 of the cups, and then the person next to me has to slam their hand down on one of the cups.
Okay.
So, and I can't remember whether I went first or when she went first, but you're obviously doing it so that you're last up, I think. And I put my fingers down and I said, which one of the 2 do you want? She went,
Do you know where the nail is the whole time?
Supposedly. But I wouldn't be telling you this story if I did, would I? So we all have to assume that we know where this is going to go. We just don't know how long it's going to take for us to tell the story to get us to that point.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm at this point. I've got the 2. And this girl here, she's gone, whack. And everyone's gone, oh my God. Now I'm going to tell you, with this trick, you really have to sell it.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because everyone's going to say one thing. Well, he's not going to do it, is he? That'd be stupid. So they already don't believe what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But you have to make them think there's an air of doubt that might, and you go, oh, crikey, that was close.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, somebody's going to go, there's no way he's going to put me, her, or him in any danger.
Yeah.
Anyway, cup's gone. She's chosen 2 for me. Bang. Everyone's like, I'm bigging it up. Everyone's getting involved. Cup's gone. So we've only got 2 left. And it's her turn.
Yeah.
So I've gone, which one do you want? She went, that one. And I went, you sure you don't want that one? I'm now standing there, and this spike is now right through my hand and out the other side.
No.
I've actually got you're never going to pick it up on camera, but I've got the hole in my hand, got the scar, the puncture wound of inside of my right palm, outside of my back of my right palm, back of my hand.
Where is it?
It's literally, I've got the scar here, and I've got a little dent just in the back of my hand here.
I can see it.
Where it's gone straight through. So I am now completely empowered on this spike in the room. And now I've gone, I can't say the full, but I've gone, oh, you fucking see. Now this thing has gone, this block has gone flying out of the doors behind me and landed in the corridor. The room have gone, oh, this is fucking awesome. This is brilliant. I've gone out into the corridor. The girl, by the way, to my left, she's crying because I've screamed so loudly.
Yeah.
And I've gone into the corridor and I passed out. I'm now laying in the hallway, flat out.
Jesus.
Hands bleeding, puncture wound, little bit of bone showing on both sides, but no. So I got woken back up. Little did I know that 12 of the 14 guests were Kent Air Ambulance.
Oh, good.
They've recovered me, nursed me back, got me awake.
Yeah.
Given me a little bit of Red Bull, patched up all my hand and all the rest of it, put my hand inside my jacket because I've got to finish the show.
Yeah.
Some guy's videoed it, but he's videoed it, and I've never seen the video, right?
Yeah.
Because he videoed it on a BlackBerry.
Oh God.
So this is so that's how far I go. BlackBerry with a little ball that was a little scrolly ball in the middle, which I can't have seen very much on those things back then. But I went in, I had to finish my prediction off, and do you know what? my wife went absolutely mental. Because driving home, my hand is absolutely killing. I've got a whole Christmas season still to do
Yeah, with a hole in your hand.
with a hole in my hand. And I've taken magicians along to all of my gigs to basically I'm going to do mind reading. They're all going to do the sleight of hand,
Yeah.
the close up stuff. And I've had to pay them all out just to kind of get me through the Christmas period.
They start playing Holy Night just to
Yeah.
piss you off.
Yeah, so bad. I can't believe it. It's like,
I mean, the best thing is that it happened to you and not her.
well, and there are YouTube videos of guys, magicians doing it where they grab,
They hold
they
top
hold
of
the
their
other,
hands
yeah,
and-
they do, and they slam it down. And I've seen there was a magician at the Magic Circle did it on somebody in the audience, and he slammed her hand right down, and it went into this part of her hand,
Yeah.
and she pulled away, right, and screamed, and he lifted up the cup in disbelief that he couldn't believe it was under there. He went, "Oh, I didn't know it's under that one."
So what went wrong on your
I
like?
didn't do my. So there's like I won't give away the secret,
No,
but
no, no.
you're meant to do something that I got completely blasé. I just got a bit excited.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing was going really well, and I just slammed my hand down. I didn't check what I was meant to look at to make sure I knew which cup
Yeah.
was over the top of what block, and I just didn't look,
Oh,
and it was
mate.
awful. I sold it. I sold it. Sold it. On the Monday, there's a site on Facebook called Secondhand Magic.
Yeah.
And I literally popped it straight up there. I went, I'm never doing that again.
No.
Um,
And have you ever done it since?
No, never done anything. Don't do anything that could physically hurt me or hurt someone else.
Yeah.
So you don't do anything that was going to put you in danger or them in danger.
It'll only take one time, won't it?
And it takes one mistake, and if it's not happened to you and it happens to someone else, yeah, just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. No, that's definitely worse than breaking someone's watch.
That is definitely worse than breaking somebody's watch. But they're all the bits that when I look back, and it's lovely to have the opportunity to do this, because you look back and you think about the things you've done,
Yeah.
the mistakes, the good days, the bad, the ones where it went right, the ones where it went wrong, and what you've learned. And because they don't, as I've changed again over the years, is if you make a mistake now, if you dovetail that with some really cool stuff here at the front,
Yeah.
then you make that mistake in the middle, but the end is really good as well. Everyone forgets the bit that made no difference.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing I do with the date, where
Yes.
I reveal the date for the wedding?
Yeah. I think you did that on Talisha and George's wedding.
Yes, and I was at the Holiday Inn Sittingbourne.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was there,
Yeah.
and I've got the piece of paper, I've got the date and everything ready to go, and everyone's doing all the numbers in the room with me. And my client, one of my old clients from a wedding that I'd done with theirs, probably 5 or 6 years ago, earlier. The girl's pressed equals, and he's clocked the number, looked over, and he's looked up at me and went, "It's the wrong number." And I've gone, "Oh fuck, I'm done. I've got
Yeah.
the prediction is wrong, the numbers are wrong, and so it means I haven't got their wedding date." And so I've stood there and I've turned it around, and everyone's gone, and I'm a month out.
Oh no.
I'm a 1 month adrift of the wedding date. I went, "But ladies and gentlemen, you know what?" And I've made up some story to get me through what is a really awkward moment, because everyone
Yeah.
thinks and they do that thing that you just said. Oh, 1 minute. You
Yeah.
watch this. And you've got to get around it and maybe add something else extra in to get away from the mistake.
Well, it's different to like just a crowd of 3 people.
Oh,
You can sort of
To
go,
the whole room of 80,
my bad.
because now they're all
Yeah.
looking and they're all paying attention.
Yeah.
And you've just got what you've landed. You're doing the wedding in December, but you've got the date for November.
Yeah.
And you've gone, well, sometimes life's not always about being perfect. Sometimes life's about dates, months, and years not aligning. And I don't know why.
So you just waffled.
I just
didn't-
waffled enough to everyone went, "We're so bored that I forgot why he's telling us this story."
Yeah.
But we're okay with it now.
20 minutes later.
Yeah,
you
and-
just-
Shut up,
Buffet.
We're having
Yeah.
a cold buffet now. Everyone. We was going to have a hot buffet, but now it's a cold buffet. But don't.
Oh,
It's
man.
but they're all. There isn't a magician. There can't be a magician, an entertainer, a singer, a caricaturist, or photographer that hasn't got stories.
No.
Because we all do those moments where you just go, "Oh, that's."
It's just like a baptism of fire, right?
Yeah.
You've got to go through it to.
You can't not do the big numbers, and not have moments where
No.
it just goes a little bit adrift.
No, I don't like even the best have their days, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't be perfect 100% of the
No,
time.
absolutely
I think
not.
those little imperfections where it goes wrong, they just create funny stories
Yeah.
as well. Like that will still be a funny story for that couple,
Yeah.
and it sometimes has a little bit better than getting it right.
Everyone loves a magician that makes a mistake.
Yeah.
They love a magician that makes them seemingly make a mistake and then gets out of it as well.
Yeah.
That really gets some serious credit in
Yeah.
a crowd of people. But it's how it's always going to come down to how you handle it.
Yeah, for sure.
And some days I mean, I was at Hayne House, and a girl took a card off me, and the card was it was wrong. Something was gone wrong. Something I'd missed something or something. And I went, I tell you what, right? I love this. I love these moments where it's just chance.
Yeah.
I said, name any card, reach into this deck, take it out, turn it over, and it'll be the card you've just named. She went, that's impossible. I went, check it out. She reached out. I just spread through the deck. I haven't done anything. There's nothing. It's just a normal deck. And she hasn't named a card. She went, Jack of Hearts. She reached over, slid the card out, turned it over. It was a Jack of Hearts. They literally
It's
went,
just pure luck.
they just went running for the hill. It's a 1 in 52, isn't it?
Yeah.
They went running off in all different directions. I rang my mate. I went, you won't believe
I think I'm actually magic.
you won't believe what just happened to me. I said, it was a 1 in 52. And she actually called it and turned it over, and it was it.
That's got to be the most amazing thing to have happened.
But then saying that, then if magic is too clean, it's not as believable.
It's not a show, is it?
No, it can't be too good.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's almost like there's got to be doubt.
Yeah.
Got to be doubt. Because if I've got doubt, I can believe it. If there's no doubt, then it was real, and everything I stand for and live by in my life might have to go out the window. I've got to completely change every single thing I believe in, because you're going. It's the moment of impossibility where something just happens, and the magician. It's like Chinese whispers when it's always fun when somebody talks to me about a magic trick. I said, I see a magician do a trick. And there you go. And a lot of the people do this one where they go, the magician made the ring disappear from my finger and appear in his pocket, attached to his keys or in a wallet in an envelope. Now I know there's a very small chance it didn't just vanish from your finger.
Yeah.
You had to have taken it off, maybe. You had to have given it to him. Because I don't know if anybody's, in the height of summer, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to watch somebody take a ring off. But normally it doesn't come off. It's fingers swell, fingers are hot, and it doesn't just generally come off unless you've got one of those rings that's very big and you can literally do that and it slides off regardless. But you're not gonna play the odds of waiting around in a room of 100 people to see if one person's got a ring that's like just literally flopping around. It's never gonna happen. So it's lovely. People's interpretation of a magic trick is so vast, so far away from what they actually think it is. It's great to listen to.
Yeah.
They go, I saw a guy do this thing. He wasn't even in the room. And yet this what happened and this happened. This guy goes, actually, I think he was in a completely different country, and yet this is what happened. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you go, well, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
But what a lovely thought process to have about a trick.
For them, yeah.
Yeah, it is, because that's how but who was a magician? I don't know. Nobody remembers the magician. They just remember the trick that you showed them and how you made them feel at that particular moment in time. And they can even go, oh, I was at such and such a party. But they don't remember it was Spencer, it was Matty, it was Chris, it was just don't read it.
No.
They never remember.
They're crazy. So what's one trick that really like blows people's mind that you personally do?
And I think it's one of the biggest questions everyone asks you is, what's the one thing? And I go, it's the one thing that you're most connected to with anything that I'm performing at that particular time.
Yeah.
So whether it's a card trick, whether it's me bending a fork or reading your minds or putting the bottle through the table or having your ring vanish and appear on my keys and in a box on the table, everybody has something they like.
Yeah.
My dad loves they're called packet tricks. So you get maybe 3 or 4 cards in a trick, and it's called a packet trick. And my dad loves a packet trick because it's short and done and over.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody else might like a full deck of card trick where you're manipulating the card up and down throughout the deck. So for me, it's the best tricks are the ones that you also like doing the most, the ones that you really do feel excited about.
Yeah.
That you stand there and you do it and you go, this is so good. And I'm genuinely excited about what you're all about to see. Because in my head, I'm already having a great time and you're just about to get blown away.
Yeah.
But do you know what? The lovely thing about magic is watching everybody else. So I say to people, when I perform, I'm performing, but I'm not really there. I'm like on the peripherals. I'm upstairs. I'm floating around, watching the room. I'm watching where this guy over to my left's looking, or this girl over to the right's looking. I'm watching to see where the staff are coming from and when are they gonna walk in right at the moment where I'm just about to do the finale bit and ruin it by putting the food on the table.
Yeah.
So I'm having to get ready to block them and move myself around to stop them from getting to the table. But it's just those things that you like the most. I do 5, 6 of them, and everyone goes away with 1 or 2 things that they really like more, like something really shone for them. I think the biggest one in the last year, 2 months was, and I think you've seen it, was where the numbers disappear from the telephone
Yeah,
calculator.
I've seen. We watched. You did that at the old Kent Barn.
Yeah, and it goes on, and they appear on somebody else's
Yeah.
phone.
I think we actually spoke about that after. I think you actually told us how it was done.
And thanks. But
They don't know. They don't know.
That's right. It's me out of the magic circle that I'm not already in. But no, and it's brilliant. But it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone since the updates. The calculator feature's been removed.
Right.
So the swipey's just gone. So no, we don't do it.
Right.
But that was one of the biggest. That was one of the biggest tricks over the last kind of 18 months that really got. And that's where it got me into what got me into the tech magic.
I think again it's because you're not touching it.
No.
Really, and people are watching it live while your hand is that you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
It seems like anyway.
Yeah.
So it's that like giddy childlike feeling of like.
But that's the whole point.
Magic's
That's always magic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is literally trying to be as far away from the moment that's going on. That's why they call it. That's what it's called. Time misdirection.
Yeah.
Time misdirection is misdirection based around how long it was from when this may have happened to when you reveal what has happened.
Yeah.
So you leave a big enough gap, which is nothing at all, but it's enough for everyone to go, when?
Yeah.
And that's when they go, I don't know when. So I do one where a box appears on the table in front of them, and it's got their ring in it, and the box got a padlock on the front of it.
Yeah.
That's been locked up with a set of keys. And I draw attention at that point above the table by bringing my hands up. So if I bring my hands up, everyone does that. They come with me. That allows me to put the box where I need it to go.
Yeah.
So then I go, but the keys that belong to the box that has a padlock on the front of it, that's on the table just there. So I go from here to here. This moment here, they all go, there's no way.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And it's that moment. And you just stand back and let them just have a minute to just take that in and go, there's no way it can't be in there. And I normally say, well, if it's not in there, it's going to be a really bad ending for me. I haven't got a clue where it is. And for everyone else, it's just, and it is really delivering something that just requires you to know when to go in, when to come back, when to relax, when to push forward, when to just let it flow.
Yeah.
Just let it flow. And that's why, do you know what the hardest thing I love, the difficult for magicians is when we go to the same venues, see the same suppliers, and they ask you, got anything new? And you go, no, I haven't. Yeah, and it's not because I haven't got anything new. It's that I might not. It's that your act is your act.
Yeah.
Somebody said, and my best version of kind of explaining this was I went to Butlins years ago with some boys, and Chesney Hawkes was on.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
What's he famous for? What's the one song he's famous for? Right, the one and only. I am the right. That's his song. So he's got up and he's going, right. And everyone in the room, they've had a drink and they've all gone, Chesley, give us a bit of one and only. He went, no, 1 minute. Just going to do some new stuff from the new album, and then I'll give you a bit of one and only. And he does a song, and everyone goes, Chesley, give us a bit of one. And this went on. And he went, right, fuck you lot. Here's your one and only, and I'm off. And he literally, and everyone went, this is brilliant. They all went. And so somebody said to me one time, I said, when you go and see Oasis, even if you go and see Oasis next year, this year, it's this year now.
This year now, yeah.
When you go to see them, I want their greatest hits.
Yeah.
I want all the stuff that I've longed for the last decade that I've not heard or whatever it is. I don't want the new stuff.
No.
I want all the greatest. So when I go out and perform, like every other performer magician, you're going to get my greatest hits. And I'm not there.
We've been doing it long enough to have the greatest hits. So you don't need to keep trialing.
my 10 for drinks session and my 10 are my greatest hits.
Yeah.
They're my A set material that's spread over the duration of a period of time. They're not my A material to have to share with all the suppliers.
Yeah.
So they'll go, oh, he's always got some. So that's where it's really weird. It's a really weird feeling for a magician. You feel like it's like people go, well, he always does the same stuff.
Yeah.
I always do the same stuff
For
that you
us.
see,
Yeah.
but you're not my audience today. But they can also then become your worst audience because they go, oh, he's always doing, that's a lot of the same stuff. No, it doesn't seem to ever do anything different.
Yeah.
But that 99 people in that room have never seen it. And then the
Yeah.
ones that follow 2 weeks later when you're back again, they've never seen it. And then so because it's a turnover crowd, they never see it.
Yeah.
But your videographer, your photographer, they've all seen it.
Yeah.
And you feel like going, oh, I'm doing something wrong here. But actually I'm not, because I'm not here to do it.
Again, though, if we haven't figured it, if for me personally, if you do the same trick every time I see you, but I still can't figure it out, I want to see it again.
Oh, then I can't win. Then you might as well see it again.
Yeah.
I might as well show it to you. I might as well come and join me at the tables, video it from this angle, and you'll definitely see how it's done. But it's putting new stuff in is really difficult. I'm a big fan of trying out new material.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult to get something new in, and you always can tell when something's. I know when I'm doing something new.
Yeah.
And it feels awkward. It feels clunky. It feels out of place.
Unnatural.
And then I do it, and it doesn't work, or I don't like it, or it's too hot. So the cards are reacting in your pocket because your pocket's a little bit where it's getting hot. So then you take the cards out and they're slightly bent and buckled or bowed, or they're slightly warped because they're getting hot in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or you can't get your hands in your pocket because when you put your hand in your pocket in the summer, the pocket comes out with your hand because it all gets it's all warm and a bit sweaty and a bit sticky. So there's so many factors.
There's a lot of elements to it. Then
there's a lot of elements going on. Pocket or a new suit.
Yeah.
Go out and buy a new suit. You don't just most magicians probably don't just go out and buy a suit off the rack.
Yeah.
They have to go into the shop, buy the suit, or take some of their gear with them and go, where does it sit in my pockets? If I do this used to be a pen pocket here and a pocket here and a ticket pocket down here. Well, I haven't got that now because I've got one of those skeleton suits that hasn't got most of the lining in it. So now you've lost all your pockets. Well, that jacket's now no good to you because you've got to change your act again. So the constant changing around of everything is unbelievable.
Yeah. Man, there's so many elements to it that you forget or you don't realise.
Yeah, I think it's that you don't realise.
Yeah.
But it's no different from me going, you just press a button and point, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I always assume that like you'd have to go to a specific magician tailor to get a jacket done.
No, you do.
Because there's like
no,
a million hidden pockets with 52 different pockets for a different card. So that you can go, is it the 7 of clubs? And you go, there it is.
No, you just have to. You just know where everything is on you.
Yeah.
You know what's in every single pocket, but you don't see. Then you've got to get something from a pocket to a different pocket, and then it's got to go back into the pocket it came out of for when you move on.
Yeah.
So your stuff's moving. Stuff is moving around you.
Yeah.
All the time, and you've got to get it back there as well.
You've got to remember where it all is.
You've got to remember where it all is. Remember has it gone back in the right order?
Yeah.
And I've got to do that between walking from table 9 to table 10, which is seconds. And I'm going, and I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're leaving the room and everyone's going, magician keeps going out the room. Where's he going? And then he comes back 5 minutes later because he's reset.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. As well as then can you come and get this for us? Can you come and do this for us as well? And, you haven't seen this person over here. And it just goes on.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of the job. It's so much harder than anybody thinks. It's so much physically. You get in the car, and if you do a full day, and if I do my full day, which is 6 or 7 hours, I'm absolutely baked.
Yeah.
I get in my car and I'm done.
Like, oh.
I'm so like, that's all. You're finished.
Yeah.
3 hours is good. You're still recoverable to the point. If you go and do an evening somewhere else, another couple of hours, it's good as well. But you normally, by the end of that, you're just about done.
Yeah.
No more magic, please. If anybody asks me to do another card trick, I'll just chuck the deck at you. I'm just not doing it.
So what's the best gig you've done, or the most insane gig you've done?
Do you know what it was? I can't even tell you. I can't remember the year, but it was me and my business partner, a guy called Lee Smith. He's a magician out of Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And Paul Fowler, a magician out of Kent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you maybe have seen Paul on your tour of duty around the county.
I don't know.
Great magician.
Yeah.
I've known Paul for a long time. Lee was my business partner, and we were booked to perform in Dubai at the launching and the opening of the Damac Hills Trump International Golf Course.
Wow.
So it was a VIP exclusive event in the middle of the desert. This brand new golf resort had been built. It was like the Beverly Hills in the desert.
Yeah.
The Trump family were there, and we were booked for 90 seconds.
Jesus.
That's what we did.
What can you get away with in 90 seconds?
I'll tell you. So we had to take so the whole premise was to take a grain of sand, turn a grain of sand into lots of grains of sand, and then create compression and heat that would turn a sand into a pearl.
Okay.
And that was
Did
we
you have
did
like
all.
the fake thumb?
So we did the produce the sand, and then our hands, as we cupped our hands together with the sand in it, they glowed bright red. And when we'd done that, we had a pearl. The pearl then got placed on a little pillow and a blanket, and then we handed it out to the Trump family and the I think it was the Saudi royal family as well. And this all took 90 seconds. Wind blowing everywhere, sand flying everywhere. My hair was all a bit all over and it was like, crikey, I can't believe that was the biggest thing we've kind of ever done.
Yeah.
And it was epic. It was so good. And it took us a long time. It took us a long time to. We practiced in the UK for quite a long time. We went over there and they shot it on one of the biggest, I think, like kind of plasma screens that had ever been built. And we shot our hands doing all the moves so that they would then run the VT behind us whilst we performed at an angle different from it. So you couldn't actually watch us and watch that at the same time.
Yeah.
You couldn't catch. You'd either have to look one way or the other. So if you did that, it would look like we were all banging time with one another. It was very cleverly done.
So it's got to be perfect then.
And it was perfect. But we shot it we flew out, I think we was out there for about 3 days beforehand. But we also, fortunately, they had 3, I think they call them, don't go at me right, but I think they're sand outs. Like a white out, but just sand.
Okay, yeah.
So the desert storms came in. Nobody was going anywhere. Couldn't see anything. We got cancelled 3 times.
Yeah.
So we flew out. The event got cancelled 3 times because of the sand out. And whilst we did that, we shot the videos for the hands and stuff like that. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It really was. It was quite an experience.
That sounds like quite a
just like different
mental.
You don't get to do things like that. It's just why would you, I mean, aside from that, I did myself and my business partner again, Lee. We launched we launched for Benefit Cosmetics their new Gorilla Brow collection.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
Right.
In London. So two guys are launching a makeup brand on a ship that was moored on the Thames.
Yeah.
For Benefit Cosmetics. And and we're doing tricks with eyeliners and eyebrows and eyelash enhancers and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's what we were doing. We did that, and then we went off into the shops and did it in the boutiques for them as well.
Yeah.
So he's working boutiques on a Saturday for people passing by, demonstrating the brand, the Benefit brand.
Man, it's just crazy what this job can end up leading to, right? It's
unbelievably so. Yeah,
who knows where you'll end up next?
No, you have no idea. If it's not, you're doing a wedding now, or you're doing, you're working for a jeweler's, or you're working in a clothing store. Where you are, magic fits kind of everywhere.
Yeah,
I had a job for a leather goods company in London, and I flew out to Germany, and I was going out there to do a trade show. And whilst out there, I noticed they had another store. This company from London had another store in Germany. So I went there and I said, "Can I do I've got a big event coming up at your boutique store back in London. Can I shoot a quick trick here?
Yeah.
That's going to be a video prediction for when I get back there that I'll be able to show everyone." And my client, I sat down with about 5 of their clients in a private room because it was an exclusive event. We sat down and I played this video. I said, before I press, I'm going to stop it right there. I've made a prediction. This person's done something in Germany 2 weeks ago that whatever happens now, you're going to predict exactly what it is that they did. And this guy turned over this card. This guy pressed play. He turned over this card, and they matched. And everyone just literally, they were just blown. It's mind blowing. And you sit there and you go, I did that. I created that. I thought about that.
That's
worked
like
on that.
Full production trick as well, isn't it?
And I took the time out to catch the train to this place in Germany. I had to fly out early. Did this. And then I did my trade, and it's brilliant. And genuinely, that side of my business, I absolutely love. It doesn't come around as much at the minute because we're in a slightly different world. But you know what? It's like doing the weddings. You just love them.
Yeah,
the couples are great. You get to do some amazing stuff and hang out with some absolutely amazing people.
Yeah, and every couple's different as well, isn't it?
Every
Every
couple's
day is a
different.
new. I've said it so many times, but every day is a new day at a wedding.
Yeah, the venue might not change, but the people that go in the venue are
Yeah,
always different.
yeah,
You can't believe how they can love you one day and not be as not can't be with you some other days.
yeah,
I never forget. I did a wedding, and I used to love back in the day. What you call where you do multiple events or gigs in a day,
yeah,
and like by the time you get to that second one or that third one, it's like going stretching and going to the gym. You're like all of a sudden you're loose and you're quick and you're smart. Everything you do just works.
yeah,
You do stuff you should not be doing, and everything looks even better than it's ever done because it's like you've warmed up. And I left a day gig, went and did a night gig, and just you know what, they couldn't have been two different crowds.
yeah.
I stood with these three guys, and I'll never forget the two of them. I said, "I'm the magician," and two of them went like that. They just walked away,
Oh God.
just left me with me and this other guy.
Yeah.
And I went to this other guy. I went, "Bit awkward, this, isn't it?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "How about I go left, you go right, and we won't talk about it for the rest of the night?" He went, "Sounds like a great idea." We just went like that. I was like, "This is just weird," but people are peculiar,
Yeah.
but in their own way. I did I worked for a guy in London, and I was at his house, and he was the billionaire steel baron. This chap, I forget his name now, and I'll never forget. I was standing with three people, and I showed him a trick. And as I was demonstrating the trick, by the time I looked up, I was the only one standing there. They'd all left me. I was just doing a trick on my own.
Yeah.
They literally just
Like
walked off.
rehearsal at
They
that
just
point.
walked off.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where did you all go?" And they all just went to the bar behind me or something like that. And so people
There's so many opportunities for vendors, especially entertaining vendors, that could really put you off. Like if you're like a band or a singer or something, and no one's on the dance floor, it's similar sort of
Oh
thing.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like the photographer that nobody wants to smile.
Yeah.
Let's
And
do
you're
the
like,
big cheer. Everyone goes, nah.
and you're just like, I'm putting my all into this,
Yeah,
and no one
yeah,
cares. Like, so I mean, you've got to have like really thick skin to be able to sit there and go, right, well, I'll just move on to the next one.
yeah. And the thing is, for me, I've got loads of groups. I've always got two or three people here, two or three. So you're always going to find there's always going to be some love for you in the room somewhere.
Yeah,
And when you do you know what? Gravitate towards it and just enjoy them.
yeah,
Because if the others aren't giving it to you, then it doesn't matter. It's not. It's like that thing where somebody goes, "I don't like magicians," and you go, and you've only been there a sec. "I'm your magician." I don't like magicians. I'm leaving. And they turn away. I went up to a table. I was at I went up to a table and I said, "I'm the magician." The two men got up their chairs and turned them away from the table and said, "We're not watching this." I was like, "I only said hello."
maybe it says something more about you than.
No, let's not. I feel like I'm going to do my whole podcast with everything that's gone wrong or that.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're just part of my story in this. For all the events I do in a year,
Yeah.
this is a handful of just.
If you're doing 70 events a year, you can't.
Yeah, you
can't be
not
right all the
have them.
time.
And they're not that they're not wrong. That was only that one or two people out of 80.
Yeah.
So it's not even that it's wrong. It's just that they're one or two people out of 80.
Yeah.
It's just that you see it and you go, "It just cracks me up."
Well, you get it as well. I mean, like you always see, like you film in reception or something, and you point the camera at someone, and you try and be as discreet as possible, and they see you, and they always go, and you're just like this. I don't know what they think I'm doing with this footage. If I'm gonna take it home and use it for my own,
Yeah.
it's not me that
Yeah.
wants this footage. It's the couple that want
Yeah.
this footage, and well, it's a lovely back of the head, but I don't need that.
No.
So, mate, it's so.
But
weird.
it is the same when somebody goes, "Do you want to see a trick?" "No." "No, I don't." "Oh, but no.
Yeah. All right.
Go
so
away.
next one.
Leave us alone, would you? We're just trying to have a conversation."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, well, okay. All right, I'll go then." And you're literally like with your towel between your legs.
Yeah. Well, what are you meant to do at that point?
You're on your own. You literally might as well, you have to walk
Yeah.
away with your towel between your legs.
Yeah.
I went to Winterbarns one evening. It was a late night. I wasn't starting till about 8 o'clock, maybe just after the first dance. And I'll never forget Sally was
Yeah.
there that night, and I love Sally to bits. And I'll never forget. It was a late evening. She got me, and she said to me, "Good luck." She got me by the scruff. It's almost like she got me by the scruff of the neck, and she threw me out into the lion's den.
Yeah.
And there was about 40 guys out there, and I've gone, "I'm the magician." They've gone, "Rah!" And and it was one of those moments where it all just went mental. You're either going to win in this group.
Yeah.
If you win, you're ahead. If you get caught out they're going to eat you alive for the next hour.
Yeah.
Within 10, 15 minutes, we are having a blast. They go, oh, mate, just do a video to my boy. Say hello to my boy. Just show him a card. Mate, come over here, show me. And it went on like that. And
Yeah.
I've got pictures. Some of I even use them now because I love them. These guys, this group of guys was so good. And we got on so well that then for the rest of the night, I didn't see him again after that.
Yeah.
They literally I was with them for about an hour. Videos, signing cards, putting personal messages their kids on these cards, showing them some tricks. And then they all went, it just like disappeared. It's like they were never there.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the wedding. It was just one of those nights where everything was just, and I performed for the rest of the night for everyone else that hadn't been out there. And it was all like,
Spot on.
spot on. And the alpha men group, they green light the rest of the room enjoying it.
Yeah.
They give it the go ahead. Go on, guys. You got to watch this guy.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
It's a nice memories to have after the weddings, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got some, and I've got some beautiful moments with people that I've got. You know, you do a bit of mind reading, and you trigger something in somebody that you record a piece of information that you shouldn't have known, but you did know, but you shared it in a way that really resonates with them and upsets them and makes them feel sad. But they hug you and they thank you for sharing something with them that was so personal.
Yeah.
And you have to handle that in a certain way that is really, really lovely for them, and not thinking it's about you or the fact you've just done this trick.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how you come about that piece of information or what you did. But it's a lovely moment. And that person will never forget that.
Yeah.
They will talk about that just for.
It's when you play on emotion, right? It's
Mind
hard
reading
to forget.
Mind reading is a completely different thing.
That stuff blows my mind. Like, how are you able to get in there and
Yeah. Whereas cards magic, it's magic. It's, you know, we all see, you probably see more magic than you see mind reading ever done.
Yeah.
Mind reading is one of those things, it's really great. I like mind reading as an end of night thing. Sit down about half a dozen people you really resonate with, you've really had a great night with, and now you're going to do some really cool stuff. Let's all grab a glass of sparkle.
Yeah.
Let's sit down, grab a paper, a bit of pen, and we'll do some stuff. And now it's going to really, and it sets a completely different tone. But it's got so much leading or so much setup to finale
Yeah.
that actually in a drink service it's really difficult to do it and actually for it to go really, really well because it's got to be quick.
Yeah.
People want punchy, they want quick, they want you in, they want you diving in and out of groups, really getting the room or the drink reception going. Whereas mind reading doesn't always do that just quick enough for me.
Yeah.
But I love doing it, and when you do it and you sit back and you take some time with it, it can be really, the emotional side of it can be really great for you as a performer and the connection that you create with the person that's receiving said information.
Yeah, because like you say, they're always going to remember that.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how old they get, they're gonna sit and remember that one magician that, like they say, if they're.
You've revealed something about a mum that might have passed in the last 6 months or something like that, and I've had husbands come up to me and say that what you did for my wife was something a bit special tonight, and I just want to say thank you for it because you've done something for her that it's given her a little bit of a release or a bit of comfort. The fact that you leave them with a piece of paper that she wrote the name down on it, saying, I leave it, say, look, keep hold of that, pop it in your purse, your bag, and keep it. And every time you want to think fondly of her, think about a moment with her, open it up, and it'll just come back to you straight away.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it's a very different form of entertainment. It's such a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's quite emotional.
Raw, isn't it?
Yeah. And
raw
you have to
entertainment.
just take it carefully.
Yeah.
Don't overuse it and don't over kind of entertain it or deliver it. Remember, what you're about to do is really strong for somebody else, and if you get it wrong, it's gonna go badly, and it's not gonna look nice.
No.
So, but when people come up to you and say you've just done something like that, it's great.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's really nice to be in a position where you're able to do that, like to be that impactful for someone's life.
Yeah, and I think that's just where you have a variety of an act. You have such a vast repertoire of a performance. Again, it's funny when you say it and then you talk about suppliers that have never seen it.
Yeah.
But there's so much you don't get to see because you're so busy. You do only pop in at the snippets. And I work with so many great suppliers that those suppliers all know my act.
Yeah.
So they know when they're going to get the moment. They literally can stand there going, not yet, now. And that's the event. They go, I've seen this so many times.
But it is a benefit for photo and video.
But absolutely great for video, great for photography, because you literally go, Spencer's going to bend that fork, and then the moment they all go like that, or they gasp, or they go amazing, it's going to come any second. That's it there.
Yeah.
And so you're not standing there for 10 minutes videoing the whole thing, because some of it can be, somebody says to me, can I video you? I say, I'll tell you when to. Because the first bit is the setup, the signing of the card, choose the card. You don't want to video all that. You'll run out of time and you just won't watch it all.
Yeah.
You just want that bit where the glass block appears and somebody goes, That's the bit you do. Or the baby's hand comes out of somebody's tummy.
Yeah.
That's the bit you do. All of that is what makes it magical. But the setup-y bit is the bit that's like the fire or the bottle going through the table. You don't want to catch the bits that make the bottle go through the table. You just need to catch the bit where it's gone through, and you catching the reactions left or right of you, where people are like they're dumbstruck, or
Yeah.
they're blown away because you've just done it right in front of them. They don't know how
Yeah.
you did it.
Is there anything that you've always wanted to attempt to do at a wedding, like a certain trick or?
There's a couple at the minute, and actually, just do you know what? Stopping me, confidence.
Yeah.
Really is. Just I'm a bit worried about doing them, because I think when you start to do full room magic, practicing it's a bit harder, because you have to go out and you're going back to that world of having to do it and maybe not always getting it quite as
Yeah.
you like to. So yeah, I'm. There are a couple of things that I like, and they will. But my act's changed massively already this year. I've got so much more in my repertoire, especially through my digital tech magic
Yeah.
act.
Do you think that's a new trend coming through, like tech
Yeah,
side of
absolutely.
magic?
It's been there for a while.
Yeah.
It's just a question whether you want to embrace it as a magician and add it in. And I love it. I've actually didn't. I pushed back actually for about the last 18 months, but this last 6 months, I've really dived in, and I've restructured the way my whole phone looks,
Yeah.
how it operates because of it.
That's your new jacket.
That's my 100%. Then my new jacket and pockets right there.
Yeah.
Everything is fun. I've got really bad OCD. So
Yeah.
everything has to be structured in a certain way. But then I've used other applications to create a false impression of the applications I've got. So
Yeah.
they're hiding other things for me. And it's so clever. But I've worked really hard with the
Yeah.
help of what other magicians have got out in the market to hide all of that, so it looks as natural and normal as you'd like it to be.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's really exciting. You sit at home and you go, God, that is so good.
Yeah.
And I even
Can't wait to put it out.
can't wait to do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it. And I did there's a new effect that I've got that I'm doing at the minute, and I'm watching it, and I'm just watching people as they go. It's just very, very clever.
Yeah.
And just it's also a little, I love it because the thing with tech magic, it can be a little bit like you feel a bit like you've been infiltrated. Your phone's, because people are funny about their phone,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden something's happened on their phone, or something happened on your phone to their phone, or their phone to your phone, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I like that.
Well, I said with the thing that Matty did on my phone, I my brain's like, has he done that? Because
Yeah.
he never touched my phone the whole time. He never touched my phone,
Yeah.
and that's what really like freaked me out. So basically, he made me search for something on Google, and then open up the new Google page. It was like this top 100 trends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go back onto a new Google page, and whatever I've seen and thought about in my head now starts writing out on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, has he put something on my phone? Has he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I purposely left the Safari page open, and when I got home, I checked to see if it was still there, and it was.
I love that.
But then it's like, it's another element to the magic, right?
Yeah.
Because you've had the initial, and then you're like, right, I'm going to keep that as it is. I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
And if I get home and it's still on there, then it's just even more magical.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's taken off, I know that he's done something
Yeah.
on my phone, but it was still there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is whereas like if you're doing something with some cards, you do your cleanup.
Yeah.
Now you're doing cleanup on phones.
Yeah.
You're cleaning up on your phone and their phone, or maybe you don't need to sometimes. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Depends. So, but when people are really funny about their phones,
Well, a whole world's on there, right?
yeah. And what we're doing is not doing anything, but we're getting rid of it as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do things where I want to make sure that their background's refreshed,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't interfere with what we're about to do. And not because it might be doing anything, but go very careful on background refreshing certain people's phones, because you see things that you go, oh. And I was somewhere and I background refreshed somebody's phone and it was tipped down. He was sitting here, she was sitting here. It didn't go well for him.
No.
And so from that point, you don't do that anymore.
No.
So, but it was funny. But I say the thing is, what you notice, nobody notices. It all kind of misses quite quickly.
Yeah.
But then you make sure, then for the future, you background refresh up. But sometimes it's just, and nobody, you just learn on. You have to learn things that aren't in the instruction manual. Nobody
Yeah.
tells you about that. I mean, one of the newest effects that I do, I had to go and I spent a day at a wedding fair doing it, but for the first part, I couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
Timing, I kept going every time I performed it, and it went wrong, and it did go wrong. I had to go back into the app and reset the settings into a different.
Yeah.
Go right, that's not working for me. That timing's out. So I had to keep moving things around and adjusting it. And then by the end of the day, all of a sudden, now this thing that was really I was struggling with now just was flowing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've now
The
got
issue
my
with tech,
timings.
right? It's text
Yeah,
tech.
because
It's not
text
going to
tech,
work
and
all
it's
the time.
got you go behind the scenes, and there's 101 different settings. Move the
Yeah.
volume up, move the color down, move this picture here. The screenshot doesn't align with this and that. So all of a sudden you got and you're adjusting in performance.
Yeah.
Because I sit at home and I grab my wife's phone, and it all works perfectly.
Yeah.
I go out and grab someone else's phone, and now it's going, no, we're not at home anymore. We're not
Yeah.
now you're in real life. Now
Yeah.
we're going to make this.
Now we're going to test you.
Test you, and it's unreal. And you're literally doing it, going, I'm so stressed over this trick because it's just not doing, it's not swiping, or it's not,
Yeah.
and it's unreal. But you have to go, you just have to go and live it. But
Yeah.
that's a great place to go and do it.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of magicians they like a residency in a restaurant,
Yeah.
because you can go and practice new stuff.
Yeah. If it goes wrong, it don't matter. You're going to
No.
pay for your meal and go home. And
Yeah, and nobody's going to pay much attention to it. But it's like doing it at a wedding fair, where the wedding fairs, some of them can be a little bit quiet. If you go to a quiet one, you might as well do it.
yeah.
There's not enough people coming through the door that you're not missing anybody. So if
Yeah.
you've only got one in every 5 or 10, 15 minutes, you might as well just show them something. And if it doesn't work, you go,
Go around to the other suppliers, try them. Yeah.
try them, show them, and they go, but I know I don't like doing any, but sometimes you just got to go and make a mistake, because otherwise you can't improve it.
No.
Because if you go into a quieter part of the year, you don't have enough time or enough performances to go and practice it.
Yeah.
So you've got to practice it when you can. And if every time you practice it at home it works, you're knackered. So I go out and every time I go, why is it not working? What? Because the Wi-Fi's not on, or the 3G's not on, or the 4G, or they're black, or they've got a privacy screen on.
Yeah.
And now you can't see the numbers. Now nobody can see from the side. So now that's no good. So that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Privacy screens. And,
I mean, I've got a privacy screen.
yeah, loads of people do.
Yeah.
But like I love a privacy screen, but I then know nobody can see my phone.
Yeah.
When I'm standing there, I go, I can't see anything, mate. You got privacy, so you have to rip the privacy. Right, that doesn't work then.
That's what when I'm trying to show someone a bit of work, I forget that I've got it on. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, pants.
They can't see it. It's crazy, isn't it?
So we've been doing unpopular opinions on the show recently as well. So I've got a magician one
Go on.
that I found. Having a magician at a wedding can feel like a kid's party.
Yeah. I think there's still this stereotypical stigma cliche comes with magician,
Yeah.
children's entertainer, clown, balloon artist, and balloon modeler. And also through bad experiences of magician, where a magician does actually take the mickey out of someone and degrades them in front of everybody, tries to belittle them and be like, I'm amazing, you're just a normal person, and I'm going to make you feel inferior. And it's such a million miles away from that now.
Yeah.
Good magicians are genuinely very good. They don't take the rise out of anybody else unless it's genuine. The dog doesn't agree.
Yeah, no, don't
unless
agree.
it's genuine backwards and forwards banter.
Yeah.
But world's changed and how you do all that. So you just go careful with people nowadays. So it's not like that.
Yeah.
When you see a good magician, you know you've seen one, and you know when you've seen a bad one.
Yeah.
You know when you've seen the one that makes you feel just a bit off, a bit peculiar, a bit
awkward
icky. Doesn't quite sell it right or deliver it right, and then you know the one you've met where you go, you're just awesome.
Yeah.
Because I see people come up to at wedding fairs, they go, I'm not a massive fan of magicians. They make me feel a bit funny because I don't know how it's done.
Yeah.
I said, well, look, in all fairness, my best advice to you is right now, why don't I show you everything to the group here? Just step 2 or 3 steps back, but on my shoulder,
Yeah.
watching over my shoulder, you get to have a little look. And if you love it, come and join us. By the time they see that there's an entertainment value in it, they're already in the group going, I love
Yeah.
it. It's so good. It frustrates the hell out of me that I don't know how it's done. But I just love the way you interacted with her and showed my my daughter something here. And because you hear so many things when you're at wedding fairs about people that don't like showing kids stuff and don't like doing, and I'll perform for all of the groups because it's nice.
Yeah.
That kid, this 7 or 8 year old, you produce a lollipop from
Very
a little ball.
impressionable.
Unbelievable. They go, and they also could
That's
be the
real
reason you get the
magic.
job.
Yeah.
Because if you go, I don't do anything for the kids, then they go. They go,
Yeah.
we're fun, and we don't. I was going to have you for kids and adults. And I mean, there's an 8 to 12-year-old group that genuinely will love, because they've all watched Dynamo
Yeah.
and been blown away by it. So now they're going to get to see it real life. Show them a trick, sign their card, stick it in a little hold folder, and sign their name on the other side, saying just having an amazing time. And I promise you, they're going to be talking about you forever,
Yeah.
and they will love you for it. And the parents will go, "That was really good of you," because we've seen other magicians that didn't do that. And it's like when you kind of check dates for your
Yeah.
weddings, and you find out you're already booked, and then decide you're not going to perform. And I perform for anyone, even if I'm booked, because leave them with the experience so that the next magician they see might get a job out of it.
Yeah.
Because if I do a bad experience for them, they go, "I'm not going to." If all magicians like him, I'm not going to bother. But if I do a good
Yeah.
experience, they're going to go over to the next one and say, "You know what? He was awesome, but if you're just as good, I'd love to book you. You might get another
Yeah.
job. Might get a magician another job."
I think there's a lot of opinions when it comes to entertainment anyway, right?
Yeah,
I think some people don't like bands. Some people
yeah,
prefer
you're
a
right.
DJ.
Absolutely right.
Some people hate DJs. They would prefer a band.
Yeah.
So I think that everyone's always going to have their opinions on that. But I
Yeah,
think as
I
long
just
as
think
you're
with the magic, it's got that little bit, still got that little bit of it. If you
stigma
tell everyone
and
that you're going to have a magician at your wedding day, everyone goes, "You cracker, you're not serious, are you?"
yeah.
And you go, "Oh, everyone said we was having a magician,
But they'll
but
be the
now,
first ones to come and watch to
yeah, now we've
criticize
seen
or
it, now we get it."
yeah,
But when you say it, people just don't get it. They just think it's just a little bit icky.
yeah.
But when it's done well, it's never forgotten,
No,
and
definitely
it's
not.
it'll be one of those decisions that where everyone goes, "We're so glad we did it.
Yeah.
We was a little bit on the fence, or we thought it was going to be a little bit expensive, or it was going to be out of our budget, but we done it, and now everyone's talking about it."
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much people will talk about it over breakfast the next day. Why wouldn't you? You'd
Yeah.
seen a magician do some unbelievable stuff, and you're going to go, "Did he do that trick for you last night where he bent the fork?" "I know he did the one where he made the numbers move from our phone to their phone." "But what about when he did the show and it revealed it as the couple's a wedding
Yeah.
date at the end?" Yeah,
It's a great talking point, I think.
great talking point.
And they, like you say, it's great for kids. Like they're going to go to school and tell everyone that.
100%.
Yeah.
And you're not a children's entertainer, but you're entertaining a young group of people
Yeah.
that are either in some cases running absolutely riot around the grounds, but if they see there's a magician doing a quick trick, they might watch a quick card trick,
Yeah.
or they might watch him produce a lollipop, or do things with sponge balls and they produce more and more sponge balls, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And they only need to see one, and they're generally quite content, and they leave you alone. Whereas then you got the adults that will see a lot more, and then everyone's talking about you.
Yeah. That's
So it's
great.
just always, it's just so positive. It's such a, and it's interactive entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not standing and watch me. We are physically all doing it, and it's such an old form of entertainment.
Yeah. It's the simplest form of entertainment.
Yeah, and it comes with such mystery,
Yeah.
and especially when you again back to the whole world of adding in the sleight of hand and the tech. You've got this contemporary, and you've got the classic.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, he's mixing these things together. And I'm frying my brain because I can't quite get why we're getting stuff on the phone. And I love it as well when you do Android and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So if you can do Android and iPhone, that also, because people go, "Oh, yeah, I bet it's only on iPhone." And you do something with Android, they go, "Oh, that's got me."
Yeah.
I did an event where I change everybody's Wi-Fi codes, Wi-Fi. You know when it said Wi-Fi, it says the building name or whatever it does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Like the
brand hash
name.
place or handpicked,
Yeah.
and they all and I say if I can get you all to create the elements of the card, and I say so red or black, hearts or diamonds, clubs or spades, pictures or numbers. I say like that. I snap my fingers and all my screen glitches and all my Wi-Fi changes to, let's say, the jack of clubs. I said, but not only has it happened on my phone, but it's just happened on yours. And I've now gone and hacked all of your phones and changed all of your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And this guy went, no, he won't have done mine, mate. I've got a customized VPN. It's unbreakable. I went, it's done. He went, nah. He goes, you've got to give me a minute. I've got to call my guy.
Spend millions of pounds a year.
He goes, I've got to call my guy. I've got to go. This is an event in London. Everyone absolutely just cracked up.
Could you imagine if you'd done that to the Saudi royals?
God, don't. This guy. And he just didn't know what to do with himself. He went, I've got to go and call my guy. I don't know how that's happened. I've paid fortune for this VPN and it's meant to be the securest thing and you've broken it. That's brilliant. But they never forget.
No.
They never forget the guy that hacked the guy who's got the VPN,
Yeah.
and and I promise you,
This guy.
it's got absolutely nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. It's as far away from people's thought processes as it could
Yeah.
ever be.
It's what they say about magic, isn't it? The more you think you understand it, the further away you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is simpler than you imagine.
Yeah.
Simpler than you imagine. But it's just being done in such a way
That
that
it looks.
that adds the skill or the complexity around it that just makes it hard to imagine it could be that simple.
Yeah.
It's art. So the best one for me is when you if you do a teacher trick, or you do I do a little cheeky kind of reveal trick moment. And I do a trick where do you want to do it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do
Let's
it
do
now.
it, man.
It's just because it's a bit of fun, right? So I would go to the whole room and say, so place your hands out in front of you, your thumbs up towards the ceiling. You can place your hands, so your thumbs go back down to the ground and your hands go back to back. Now, your choice. You can either place your right hand over your left hand, or place your right hand over your right hand over your left hand, or your left hand over your right hand. Do that for me. So lock them together. So from this point here, without letting go and out hurting your wrist, you should slowly be able to unravel and have the thumbs go from pointing down to now pointing back up on top. All right. So it's really simple. That's a little gift from me to you. Share that with all your followers on your podcast.
Yeah.
Take that away. Everyone will be able to do that.
Okay.
All right. So do this the whole room. Always a bit of fun. Then you reveal to everyone how it's done. And once I do, and it's as simple as this, because everyone's going to have seen it anyway. So you place your hands out like this. Hands go back to back. Right goes over left, or left goes over right. And as the left goes over right, like this, goes over right, turn your hand down. That's it. So now it looks twisted,
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's just silly, is it? It's simple, and then
The moment I do that, the whole room goes, "Oh, that's rubbish, mate."
yeah.
And I go, "Of course it is," because once you know,
Yeah.
it's always rubbish.
But when you don't,
It's mind blowing. So to go from this to either this, but this to this, and then you do that, they go, "Oh God, I can't believe I'm that stupid. I can't believe it's that simple.
Yeah.
God, that's really rubbish. I'm not showing that to anyone. Why would anybody be interested in that?" Well, because 2 seconds ago, before you all knew, you was all blown away.
yeah, and you was all willing to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and you all got involved because you wanted to know
Yeah.
it was done, and now you know it's done. You're not interested anymore.
Piquing curiosity, isn't it?
Absolutely right. It's like when you go to a gig and you go to a wedding, and I've done this at Cooling, where you go to a wedding and there's a magician who's a friend of the family. Wasn't good enough to be booked by the friend of the family, but you'll do your stuff
Yeah.
and you'll walk away and you tell everyone what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
They go, "Oh man," I said, "I don't mind showing you, but you got to keep it to yourself." He went,
Yeah.
"No, no problem at all." And as soon as I turned away, he went, "Oh well, he did this, 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 this. Do you know how I did it? Yeah, yeah, I really did this, this." And he starts showing them. It's just, and you go, "Why would you do that?" Because just because.
Just because.
Because I wanted what you just had.
Yeah.
So I want to be now. I want to see if I can steal that and get it myself by showing them all what you just did.
Yeah.
And it's really peculiar.
Yeah.
But there's moments of magic. Magic goes right out the window once you know it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't when you become the magician, because your magical bits come back to you through your performance.
Yeah.
Through watching the reactions, through watching the faces, through seeing the applause, the laughter, and those moments. And those moments of misdirection are so good.
Yeah.
When you just get that moment right and you go,
Nice.
"That's so, I have no idea what I just done," and you love it.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's like when the DJ gets that right set and that singer gets that hits that right song and that right bit of music, and it's all going off.
Yeah.
And you go, "This is just
Perfect.
everybody's in alignment with me. We're all loving it. We're all here for the same reason, to celebrate and enjoy this moment."
Yeah.
And it is so good. There's no pushback. There's just complete flow. We're all going in the same direction towards an absolutely exciting moment in time. And,
Yeah.
and the music's on, and it's brilliant.
Mate, where can people find you to get you booked in for their wedding day?
Instagram, Spencerwood Magic, at Spencerwood Magic, or you can get me on my website, www.spencerwoodmagic.co.uk. And that's generally it. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I'm recommended at a number of suppliers across the county. So if you're getting married at one of those, look on the recommended suppliers. You might find me on there as well. But it's normally the best way. You know, I get a lot through referrals.
Yeah.
But yes, just the usual.
Well, we'll make
Website,
sure
the
we'll make sure
Instagram.
we're tagged in everything that we do anyway. But it's been great having you on the show
I
and
appreciate it. It's been,
learning about you and all the nail and stuff like that. And
yeah, don't. Let's not talk about the now again. That, I mean, do you know what would be interesting to see what happens if anybody ever brings, I go, I didn't know that about you.
yeah,
I didn't know that that's what, it's like people think you've been
just
doing
ask
magic.
to see the scar. I've
Yeah.
seen it firsthand now.
Oh, yeah, it is
Firsthand.
yeah, first hand or right hand. It's my right hand. But yeah, that's it. Yeah,
But yeah, it's been great learning a bit more about you and hearing what you've got to offer for people. But before we end, is there anyone that you'd like to see on the podcast in the future?
Ooh, who would I like to see? I suppose I'd like. I tell you what, I think it would be a really good shout. Would be Nelson from VIP Singing Waiters. It'd be
Yep.
good. Energy is off the chart. I mean, seriously, what batteries does that dude run on?
I know, right?
I mean, they're non-rechargeable. Then they don't run out. It's just constant. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Especially with the fact that we've got a little collaboration going on at the moment. So I think he'd be great for you.
Yeah.
Just for the energy alone. I mean, you see, just get who else is out there at this moment? I love working with Terry from TDH Media.
yeah.
Just brilliant fun. I'm a big fan of Louisa and Duncan Detmer,
Yeah.
photographers. Steve Barber as well.
Yeah, we need to get Steve on.
Steve's classic.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get, I mean, I don't know if he knows how to stop laughing.
No,
He just laughs. He laughs a
Yeah.
lot, which is good because it's quite infectious.
it's
'cause
quite endearing, isn't it?
yeah.
It's-
And there's not many people that laugh like him
No.
nowadays. People don't laugh like he laughs. He always laughs.
Yeah.
So you laugh with him. Well,
Yeah.
at least you smile with him.
yeah, or laugh
Um,
at him.
Yeah. But there's some lovely people. I tell you I think it would be quite interesting for an anecdote. I reckon Rich Neeran, Artful Doodler.
Okay, yeah,
He'd
yeah.
be good for. I reckon he's got a story or two.
Yeah, I actually spoke about it to him about coming on the show, so I'll have to touch base with him and get a date in with him.
Yeah, he'd be quite interesting to
Yeah.
see. Just have a little chat
leave
with.
a bit of artwork in the background.
Yeah, just pictures all over behind
Yeah.
that, just everything. But yeah, there's a number, some great suppliers out. And the wedding industry in Kent is brilliant.
Yeah.
It really is. And you know what? You know when you turn up to a venue and you work with that. You know when we all do it. You always wonder about who you're going to be with. And when
Yeah.
you walk in that room and you go, I see Steve Barber, I see TH, I see May Media. You go, this is just
gonna be
my
a good
best day, because the venue's already great because you're probably a supplier there, which
Yeah.
means you're probably going to get drinks and food, get well looked after. They treat you like one of the team, one of the family, because they know that you're going to do a great job as well,
Yeah.
because you've been there 100 times. And then you work with great suppliers. Then you've got a great couple got great friends. There isn't a bad bit of your day at that point.
No.
It's just where it feels weird is when you walk in and you have no idea who anybody is. You go to a new venue, all new photographers, all new suppliers, and you need to go, and you actually, you know what, nobody cares for you.
No.
You actually, once you've gone, nobody talks to you. You don't get looked after, and you just go, oh my God, I want to go back to my happy place. I want to go back to the places that love me and know me, because they do love you and know you.
Yeah.
And you're just like one of the team. But yeah, there's Kent's great.
Spoilt for choice.
Yeah, you are sport for some fantastic venues, some amazing suppliers. But the top 10 suppliers, the top in any market, are always working together.
Yeah.
In any particular thing, that crowd will see each other a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, same photographers see the same, magicians see the same, because they're the ones that really shine, and they're always with one another at the gigs.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're always at the same half a dozen venues
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll make sure we reach out to them people and
Yeah,
hopefully
do,
we'll
yeah.
get them on the show in the future.
There's
but-
I think you've got some great. You've got plenty of content still to get through in the county.
yeah,
It's not. You're not
it's quite
like-
overwhelming how many people
Yeah,
there are.
and actually, it's a bit of a mountain I wouldn't want to be climbing myself at the
Yeah.
minute. I just want to be getting the gigs in.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done. I don't know
No.
why I'm doing this to myself, but
But it's nice that you're doing it. I mean, what a lovely thing to do. And it's not about. Do you know what? It's not about the work. It is about the chance to meet somebody that you might not get to know much about.
yeah,
You
and
know?
it's the whole premise of it is to get to know the person, because we know what you like. We're going to tag that you're a magician.
Yeah,
So we know what you're doing, but it's getting to know you and
Yeah.
these little funny stories, and it's not just you show up and you do a trick and you go home.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more emotion to it as well. So
yeah, and it's the other side of it, because you can't tell that to people. You don't
Yeah.
have the time for it, and sometimes people don't care.
no,
So they just, and not because they don't care, because they just don't. They're going, I've got to shoot this video, and I've got to go home, and I've got to get ready. and
Yeah.
I've got kids at home, and I've got to get the takeaways on the way home. And everyone's doing 100 things.
yeah,
They're all doing 100 things and doing the gig and doing the moment, and then they've got to go home and do loads of. And so our stories behind us,
Yeah.
we don't get the chance to share. So this is the closest, this is the most we've spoken.
Yeah.
Because it's the longest we've had time to do so. So it's great.
And I feel like we could shoot for another hour.
And it's still, and I mean, we've been here a long time. We have been here a long time.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get told off when I go in.
Yeah, I'm going to get told off because I'm not home yet.
Well,
That's
maybe
okay.
we're scheduling for a part 2.
Well, do you know it'd be a double magician up?
Double
because that would be a good
magician
one.
off.
Me and Matt, it would be great fun to could have us both in. I'm
That could
sure
be quite interesting.
that'd be quite interesting. Just from and it is the stories. The stories are what a magician's about.
Yeah.
Great tricks are great tricks, but stories are. Everyone's got to love the fact that what I do loads right, but every now and then you get those. And my mistakes in my earlier years more than they are my latter now. They're my performances has changed so much over the years, and my look, or my style, my brand, or my image, and everything that I give out and hand out. It's very customizable and very personable to an experience that's a reflection of a couple's choice.
Yeah,
because that's what a wedding's about. Every supplier and the venue is a reflection of a couple's choices.
Yeah.
So if you're there, it's because you shone out of everyone.
Yeah.
You might have also had the right price, but you did shine out of everyone. I'm hoping it's shining, not necessarily always the right price.
Yeah.
But it's I think that's the thing. It's just a lovely place to be. I love the industry, always have done.
Yeah.
I love the wedding business. It's a great business. If I could solely do it as my only magical income, I would. But it's just there's just that little bit of off season that's just a little bit difficult to get through. Those January, February, March, April, as well, and even May's not called. He kicks in May till mid-September, October. And then you get a lull again before you might have a Christmas crowd.
Yeah,
that's where most magicians kind of normally dip off into the corporate market. So you've only got 6 months of a year is solid wedding season.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it is a little bit hit or miss.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame, because I mean, this time of year is a lovely when the weather's like this. It's cold,
it's
but
more
beautiful
popular
and blue.
Though. Like
it's
off-season weddings become a lot more popular.
Yeah,
but
then you've got to be connected to more venues to get a chance. Because, like, say for instance, the top 10 have only got 3 weddings on each.
Yeah, there's more people.
Well, that means you've got to get all those inquiries, and then you're still not going to get all of those. You're only going to get 1 in every 10, which means you might still only pick up 2 more gigs. So this means you're still quiet.
Yeah. Well, if people are watching, they're getting married in November, December.
Yeah.
Hit Spencer.
January, February, March, April.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks, and Mondays and Tuesdays in May, June, and July, August, September.
Keep him fed, please.
Just keep it coming. Just keep it coming. We're out there to make you good.